Have you ever been playing Skywars or bedwars and wondered, why isn't there netherite? Well, the question struck me today, and I decided to research it, and this is what I found. So, hypixel can't because it allows versions prior to 1.16. They have a lot of 1.8 players, so they would have to ditch 1.8 altogether, and that is unlikely because, well, most of the people are 1.8, and they'd get a lot of backlash to that. So a server would have to be all 1.16 to be able to have netherite. That explains why there's no crossbows and newer stuff from newer versions, because players in 1.8 wouldn't be able to have that. Fights would be exceptionally longer, but if they just added netherite helmets or netherite boots and maybe unenchanted netherite swords, then it wouldn't be so bad. Kind of like the hive does. They balance it out by using diamond boots and diamond helmets and stuff like that. That brings me to my next point. If a server did that, they'd be very bold. They'd receive a bunch of backlash, but then if it was a bigger server, it might cause a domino effect and cause all the other servers to do the same. There might be a select few servers that have just 1.8, and so the people can play on that. My opinion, there should be game modes within the server that allow netherite, and you could only be 1.16 plus to be able to use it. The 1.8 PvPers would migrate to different servers that are just generally 1.8 and PvP based, but the newer unexperienced 1.6 players or people that just enjoy 1.16, 1.16 players would pick that server because there's netherite and they think that's cool. But once again, that move would be bold for whatever server did it, and it could possibly save a dying server. And with the influx of newer players, because they think it's all cool to have netherite, and then they'd leave those old servers with just diamond armor, then it might help the server increase more because they're getting an influx of more players. But then with the more players, the 1.8 players might leave, and the PvP on that server might not be regarded as much because new players won't know much different from 1.8 to 1.16. So the PvP might not be as high level as it was. In my opinion, if a new server did do it, then they should make it rare, and finding it would be pretty rare. You might only find netherite helmets or boots, or they could have a game mode with netherite in that game mode. So they could do a game mode within, like I said earlier, 1.16 players could play that game mode, but other players couldn't. I doubt a bigger server will do it. There might be smaller servers that do it, unless it's like a year later and there's been a bunch of updates with newer combat things and people are just requesting that more and more and more. But otherwise, I doubt a big server would do it. But if they did, it'd cause a domino effect, in my opinion, and there'd be some form of netherite in Skywars and bedwars. And with a big domino effect, the server that does it first, it could save a dying server. If they get to it first and they're the first ones to actually do netherite, then they could get the first influx of players, and then that server will be big. There might be better netherite game modes on different servers, but most people won't be on this one because they know this was the first one, and this will be the one they refer to and most people will know and talk about because this was the very first one. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing because it did take a lot of work researching all of this, and if you made it this far, well, thank you for watching the little video. And please consider subscribing because it helps a small YouTuber out like me. It helps a small YouTuber like me out a whole lot. So please, if you aren't, please consider subscribing because it would mean the world to me. So please, if you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching the video.